All right, hey everyone. We are live in Dothan, Alabama. We have a total of no one watching, Ryan.
Hey, that's all right.
All right, let's
builds. It builds after a while.
Let's stand over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's check it out.
So we're kind of sheltered here by the umbrella a little bit.
Yeah.
Snow ongoing. Dothan, Alabama, far southeast Alabama, Houston County. We're 20 miles from Georgia, 20 miles from Florida, roughly. It's been snowing since about 1:30
That's right.
in the city, and it's been accumulating ever since, and it is coming down.
It is. It's coming down very well, and we were just coming out here, of course, having our first time playing out in the snow, but we also had a ruler. We were checking out the inches. Like, the accumulation has been, like, this is, I think we can say now, historic, right? At least for downtown Dothan. I mean, we were seeing 3 inches just at street level, then divots around 7. It's crazy, and I never would have thought it would happen this far south.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around. This is downtown Dothan, which is, usually, hold that for just a second, usually pretty quiet, but, it's super quiet this evening because of all the snow coming on through. So there's a look at a snow drift, and I had mentioned this leading up to today that some of these drifts could be a couple feet, and look at that. Where's your umbrella?
Oh yeah.
I mean, where's your tape measure?
I got you right here. Because this is what we were measuring earlier before, and
there's a curb there, but a lot of that is the snow drift.
That's right.
And that's about 9-10 inches.
That's right.
And that's just the beginning. So we're downtown. So there's a building. So we've got this north wind, and it's kind of swirling around that building, and it's producing that drift. But in the rural areas, we're going to see a lot more of that as we go through tonight because of the intensity of the snow, the accumulation, and the fact that the winds are going to pick up. And it's look at that. It's a pretty fluffy snow. It really is.
It really is. And this is like, we were checking out videos of people going sledding and building snowmen. Now we're getting to that point of the accumulation where that's definitely more feasible to do something like that.
You know what's interesting is it's more packable down low. Like, try to make a snowball from the top layer.
Yeah, from the top layer.
It's not as, packable. It's kind of, look at that, fluffy.
Yeah, very fluffy. This is the problem I was having just a few minutes before. You try to put it in, and then you get like little stuff like that.
So you can't really make a big snowman right now. You will tomorrow when it melts a little bit. That temperature gets up to 33, 34, but it's the layer here. I'm going to do this. That's the layer right there.
That's right.
That's like the slush underneath that you can probably make a snowball with.
Yeah.
Or an ice ball, slush ball.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of an ice. But even as I'm putting my fingers through here, you still have to dig way down to find the actual pavement, even through this slush. And this is just another indication of why we're saying that these roads are going to be a problem over the next couple of days, because this slush is going to be melting. You get to this color and you can't even see it that well.
Also, it's hard to measure the snow on the road because you've got about a ½ inch of slush, which would have been like an inch and a half of snow if it were all snow, but it's been just smashed down, melted. So let's go over here. We've got the tape measure. Where's the curb? Right there. We can do some measurements here. Let's see. There's a park bunch. This is amazing because no one's touched this. Look at that. That's crazy. So we got a bench here. Let's do that. That's maybe a decent spot to measure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on the grass, but let's see what we have.
Yeah, because as I'm like, this is like ankle deep right here, which is incredible.
4 inches?
I'm going to go ahead and do that. So yeah, like
What? Yeah, well, 4 to
maybe like 4 1/4.
4 1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks about right.
Let's go over to this bench. This bench maybe has not been disturbed yet. We can get a measurement.
Oh wow! Seeing that build up.
We've had parties and picnics out here
during the summer when it was super hot.
Yeah. Okay, so let's right in the middle of that pile.
Yeah.
On that bench.
Let's try that.
I'm thinking probably 4, 4.5.
That way. Yeah, we'll go ahead and zoom in. Oh, that's about it right there.
It's all the way down?
Yeah, all the way down.
So 3, Just over 3.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
About 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Almost 3.5. Okay, so
Okay.
we've got some measurements here. See if we can find something else at some point as we walk here
Yeah.
in downtown Dothan, Alabama, in a winter wonderland. Looking northward, that's just cool.
Yeah. And I was about to say, actually, David, for those who are curious, and I'm also kind of curious about this too. So you're going out here and you see like the accumulation on the roads and on the sidewalks, but then you have stuff like this where
Good
it hasn't
point.
accumulated. So why is the reason for that?
So inside the sewer there's some water and there's a lot of heat
That's
and
right.
warmth that is being radiated to that metal top and keeping that temperature above freezing and melting the snowflakes as they hit. So no accumulation.
That's right. Because yeah, you will find
What a
that
view.
in your parking lots and stuff like that, things that have just not had any accumulation. But that's the reason why.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got some vehicles over here.
Yeah.
Let's go take a peek. One person on the road. Roads are drivable. It's just a situation where you don't want to go very fast.
No, of
Actually,
course.
this is better. Driving in 4 inches of snow is way better than driving in a 1/4 inch of freezing rain that is coating everything, because
Absolutely.
we're at the point now where it's actually kind of grippy. The snow is thick enough, the tire treads can dig in, and you get a fair
Hey.
amount of grip as you drive in this kind of snow. You don't want to go real fast, but you can get around. Whereas if this were ice, there's no way. This is a nice little sledding hill here. If we had a sled,
if we
wouldn't
did have
that
a
be
sled,
awesome?
that would be fantastic. As I'm looking around too,
Let's borrow a car.
I was about to say, yeah, as we're looking around, the accumulation on these cars is fantastic. And
Hop
imagine
it.
being inside one of these. You're not going to get any light coming through.
It's unbelievable. So I'm going to say something on that note in a second. But
Yeah,
let's
of course.
measure this.
Let's go ahead and measure, yeah. Right from the trunk here. And go down.
So that's a good measurement.
Yeah,
so
that's a
we
good
are
measurement.
right at 4.5 inches in downtown Dothan, because that
Incredible.
car was freezing cold when the snow came. So everything that hit that car was a snowflake and stayed a snowflake.
That's
so
right.
4.5 inches, our official total here in downtown Dothan. But on the note of being in that car, it is totally covered. I'm using this. I don't know if I'm going to use it to my advantage fully, but I'm trying. I haven't been home yet, covering up some of my trees with tarps and blankets, hoping that snow falls, covers it like it is these vehicles, and then it acts as kind of an igloo, basically.
That's right.
So if you had a tent, and the tent is covered in snow over bare ground, that bare ground is going to radiate some heat and keep whatever's inside that tent somewhat warm compared to the 16-degree low we're going for tonight. That's our predicted low temperature tonight, 16 degrees. And then again tomorrow night, probably in that same ballpark. I'll switch this camera around. I'm trying to shuffle between
No, right, yeah.
my glove hand and my phone hand, making sure we're warm.
Absolutely, yeah. Stay as warm as possible.
So here, let's go. That's good lighting right there. So
oh yeah.
let's go over here, because just I'm trying to kind of get the snow off of us a little bit. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
Where are you, Ryan?
I'm
There we
right
go.
here, I'm right
Come
here.
come over here.
Okay,
There we go.
right here. All right.
So let's go back a little bit, because
Yeah.
we were watching this snow event a week ago, and it looked like everything was coming together from a meteorological perspective. And I've been doing this for 28 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And watching this come together, I've been in the South for 20 years. And we had a couple snow events in Lafayette in Louisiana, but they were from predominantly upper level lows. And an upper level low is just a cold core system comes on through, dumps snow over the center of where that low tracks, and that's about it. This setup is so unique because it covered such a huge area, central Texas through the
Yes.
Carolinas, and we had to have multiple ingredients come together. The cold air from the Arctic that's
That's right.
spilled southward. We had to have this piece of energy in the atmosphere, this vortex come on through, help low pressure form in the Gulf, had to keep that boundary in the Gulf, throw that moisture northward, and it all came together, and the entire atmosphere, you go up into the sky 32 degrees or below all day long.
That's right. And
Incredible.
yeah, it is really
It's incredible.
It is wild. It is incredible to see this, and because we're so used to, when we're looking at the vertical profiles of the atmosphere, we're so used to, okay, things staying cold up there, but then finally you get below freezing close to the surface. Even for events when we're tracking wintry precipitation like this, we're always thinking sleet, freezing rain at the most, just because of how warm it usually stays at the surface. But with how we were tracking the temperatures at 850 millibars, that's one of the biggest tools that we like to use, even for we even look at the jet streams and the winds at 850 millibars for severe weather. But with these temperatures coming together, and with them being so consistent since like Thursday and Friday of last week, right? We just at that point decided, yeah, this is coming together very well for an event like this.
We locked into snow totals 4 days in advance, like felt really confident, which is unheard of in this part of the country. If you're forecasting in Michigan or Pennsylvania or New York, you know, easier to lock in from several days out. We were able to lock in from several days out in this event, and really from a week out we had good confidence. I mean, we had snowflakes on the 7-day forecast. That is unheard of. I mean, heck, I only did a 5-day forecast back in the day, and now we're doing a 7-day, and we're doing it with good accuracy. I'll give a shout out to the European artificial intelligence model. That model has been really, really good. It was good for hurricanes. It was good for this snow event. It was good in the short term, showing the heavier moisture today setting up through southeast Alabama, and it pretty much nailed it.
It did. And we've just, like we said, we've been using that for several of our past weather seasons now, tracking so many different things, and it has been impressive of how it catches on to things even before those other deterministic models really can. And I hope to see if, of course, you would know this a little bit more than I do, is the Euro AI model considered like one of the newer models that has come out?
It is, as far as artificial intelligence.
Right, okay, so hopefully we can get more models similar to that structure, because I think that would help out.
Google has one coming, GenCast, and it's doing the same thing. It's taking what the AI European model does, is it takes all the data from the past. So the European Center for Meteorological Weather Forecasting, they've got a very comprehensive history of weather across the country. And what this AI model does is it compares what the situation is like now to when it was like this in the past. Knowing what happened in the past helps it predict what will happen this time around. And it's like we all learn from the past. I know, because I drove on roads that were slippery when I was young, if I go too fast, I'm going to slide. I'm going to apply that to my driving tonight. And not do what I shouldn't do.
And for me, now in my very young career, again, I've been at WTVY first television market for a year and a half. Now I will be able to tell you, yes, you can get snow like this in the deep south, in Dothan, Alabama, and even for parts of Florida. We got to mention Florida, because those totals that were coming out for parts of like Pensacola along the beach,
down to the beach,
especially farther to the west, because they got the snow at first, those were incredible. I saw totals around Pensacola around 4.5 to 5 inches. And just a little bit farther north, closer towards Mobile, 5 inches there, bleeding on into here. And it seems that's the same that's going on for downtown Dothan.
Yeah, I'm going to answer Jay. I'm going to switch this camera around. Jay, it looks like for Dothan, we're going to end up probably a little over 5 inches of snow. We got 4.5 when we just measured here downtown, and we've got some snow to go. I mean, it's coming down pretty good right now. We're going to walk over towards the Civic Center.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and check the radar too to see where our line is at.
And you know what's weird walking in the snow is you don't know what's what. So we're in a big parking lot. It's a fairly decent sized parking lot.
That's right.
When I was first learning to drive, you know, growing up in Illinois, Northwest Illinois, where it snowed all the time, my dad took me to the school parking lot, and in back there was a big blacktop. And we had at that point, one of the vehicles was a 1979 Cadillac 4-door sedan, big boat, rear wheel drive. And he's like, you got to learn how to drive in this. So I ended up doing donuts, and he was kind of teaching me how the car reacts. And I'm thinking this would be a great parking lot to take someone out in and just learn. Maybe it's a little bit too small, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, that is
You
true.
got to be out in it.
It's be my time.
You ever seen the movie Captain Ron?
I have not.
So they're out sailing, and Captain Ron's like, it's just gonna happen. It's gonna happen out there. So you gotta get out in it. All right, so we're on St. Andrew now, and you can see the tire tracks pretty deep. I mean, this is it's hard to comprehend what we're seeing. There's the flag at the Civic Center at half-staff for the death of Jimmy Carter, former president. Blowing snow, drifting snow. It's not blowing so much where we are right here because we're sheltered, but I guarantee you in the open areas it's blowing pretty good.
That's right. David, I dare you to figure out where the sidewalk is up to the Civic Center, because I can't see it for sure.
Hard to tell, isn't
Yeah.
it? That makes driving difficult. That's a great point, because you lose all perspective of what's what as you're
Exactly.
driving. You might drive the same route every single day for 20 years in a row. You see it barren all the time. All of a sudden there's no, like, where's that sidewalk? You can kind of make it
You
out.
can kind of make it out, right? Yeah.
But if you're just driving, you kind of lose the definition looking, I don't know, 30 yards up.
And for a lot of these back roads too, especially in this area, you're only doing one-lane roads. And
That's a good
sometimes they're
point.
small enough where if you're confident you can drive, being like, okay, you're going around these sharp turns, you kind of lose orientation. Am I inside the line? Am I out? That can prove to be very dangerous as well. And as I'm walking here, I can hear the slush.
Yeah, you're in the
underneath.
slush. I'm in the snow.
Right.
I was able to pull out my ski jacket. I'm kind of excited to use it here in Dothan, because usually it's just sitting in the closet.
That's right.
All right, we've got a decent ledge here.
We do.
Let's take a look at
Wow.
the snow total that we've seen. So we had 4.5
Yeah, let's see
on the
right
car.
here.
We've got a really good view here.
Mhm.
And we'll see what we're at.
Yeah, it's always best to use what has not been moving at all in the day. That gives us an accurate measurement. Okay.
Wow.
So,
we're
yeah.
just under 5.
Yeah.
Just under 5 inches. That's a good total too, because that brick was cold. It
Oop.
allowed the snow to accumulate.
That's
so
right, yeah.
4.5, 4.8, I'd say right now. And here's what's weird about a southern snowfall. We've got these live oaks. That's a live oak, beautiful tree,
Yeah.
covered in leaves and covered in snow. I mean, if you had, Ryan, your family standing on that ledge with that tree in the background, the snow falling, you got your 2025 Christmas card right there.
That is it. That is a very nice one. If you want to send a Christmas card from Dothan, then use the peanut.
Oh,
right
the
there.
peanut.
Yeah.
See, perfect. The peanut and the live oak in the background. Hey, where are your gloves, by the way?
My gloves? So
You are a
did bring them.
meteorologist,
I
right?
know, I did. I am a meteorologist. Don't worry, guys. I got the certification. But they are somewhere in the station. I just could not find them quick enough when everyone was getting excited. So I will say they are fine because I haven't dug my hands in the snow. But if you get in a snowball fight without your gloves,
Oh, boy.
you're going to be heading inside very quickly. So don't follow my example. Have some gloves if you plan on spending a good amount of time out here.
Definitely important.
Yes, very important.
Look at that. The Dothan Civic Center covered in snow. And the snow is still coming down at a good clip.
That's right.
So here's another big parking lot. Hard to tell what's the curb and what's the actual parking lot.
That's right. Because this is the only indication where the road starts.
You have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea.
And so if you're watching, I don't know who's watching from where, but if you're watching from somewhere where it snows a lot, you know how to deal with it. Like down here, we don't have the supplies. We don't have plows, number one. And it's interesting. Now, I'll bring you into this, Ryan, because you live part of your life in Birmingham. Like here in Southeast Alabama, we don't have plows. We don't have salt trucks. We don't have the chemicals that can be used to pre-treat, the liquid chemicals that they have even in Birmingham and Huntsville, because it snows up there, I mean, at least once every year. But down
Yeah.
here, it just doesn't happen. So in your experience living in Birmingham, when a snow event came and when a snow event kind of left, what was What was the evolution of the roadways, for example?
Evolution of the roadways is kind of what we've been talking about in terms of what will likely happen here. Of course, you have, if you have a good pack of snow that's able to develop, the first couple nights are what they say is like, hey, you need to be home, try not to be on the roads, especially the day following a big snow like this. You would want to stay in because that's like the first of the melting. But even though you got clear skies and sunshine, it takes a long time for this to be completely melted. And likely for us, we're going to be seeing the last of the snow and the ice likely closer towards the weekend, maybe Friday, Saturday, depending on also how cold those nights get. But for us, yeah, it would just be where during the day, on the second day after the big snow event, that would be like, okay, during the afternoon, probably the best time to kind of be out on the roads, especially with more people getting out. It kind of loosens up more of that ice that has accumulated overnight. But then if it freezes over again, still want to be inside. So definitely think about that evolution for us as well. Think about like on Thursday, check out the roads, and of course we'll keep everyone updated on the roads as well. But that sunshine, while it's slow working, is going to help to loosen things up likely by Thursday afternoon.
It's incredible watching these cars coming by. I mean, you can barely hear the vehicle. I love the snow for that fact.
Yeah.
The peacefulness. Try to whistle.
Wow. Yeah.
It kind of just echoes in between the buildings, and then it just gets deadened. Look at that blowing snow right there coming off that building. This is West Main Street. This is Highway 84. This is usually a very busy road in Dothan, and it is completely covered. It's like a hard slush. Now the traction is, I mean, the actual traction is good. I mean, to be honest with you, driving in this, just from my experience, is not that bad. It's better now than I think it will be. Honestly, I think as we go through time,
doesn't this look like a painting right here?
It really does.
It really, yeah. That's an incredible shot right there.
Exposed brick. Speaking of the Christmas card,
there you go.
That'd be a good spot. Definitely be a good spot.
It looks like an album cover for sure.
It does. We're doing some work down here, so we've got some construction.
And I know, David, we've been inside tracking this winter storm throughout much of the afternoon. This is really our first time coming out here to see.
Yeah.
The
I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah, right. And I'm glad that it's still snowing as we got out here, because I would have been bummed just like you if we had missed it as it was coming down. But for everyone that has been able to go outside and enjoy this, especially as it's been building, I really hope it's been a fun day for everyone.
The memories made are just irreplaceable. Days like this are exceptional. Even areas that see snow, when you get a snow, it's exciting. But if you're in an area that never gets snow, and then all of a sudden you wake up or you go through the day and this happens, it's amazing. It's so magical. It's just so, and I don't like winter. I don't like I moved south to get away from this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that said, when it happened, I always liked snow events.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the aftermath. Like, I didn't want to have to shovel this
Right.
or drive in it. I mean, that's the bad side of snow. Here it doesn't usually last too long, but this time it will last a little bit. But yeah, falling snow, it's just, there's nothing else like it. There's no other weather event that's remotely close to a big snowstorm like this.
Right. And as we see some cars going by, of course it's not as heavily trafficked as it was before, but some people are going speeds that good for them. They're confident.
Yeah, speed limit is 30 here.
That's right.
And that truck was probably going at least 30.
Yeah, I would say 30.
Let's say 30.
I'll say 35.
Yeah, maybe 35.
Yeah, how many years now? I wish I was a speedometer.
Now the recommendation is to stay off the roads, and that's going to be the recommendation, I think, for a while, because everything that you see on the road here is going to melt, and then it's going to freeze, and then it's going to melt, and then it's going to freeze, and then it's going to melt.
Speaking of melting, There's
That's
one
all
there.
fun and games. And so all of a sudden, there's like a big pothole and you fall in.
I know.
Which
I
would
was
laugh.
thinking about that. I know you would be lost forever. But that's why I was.
Where'd you go?
That's why I was holding onto the street sign right here. I was holding on the street sign, being like, "Oh my God, please don't fall! Please don't fall."
You're safe. You're safe. I got my winter boots on. That definitely helps.
It does.
Keeps me nice and warm. But that truck was going along. I haven't seen any smaller cars go on by. Mainly the trucks and
Yeah, mainly trucks.
a 4-wheel drive truck. You're in pretty good shape. Again, this is kind of. I'm going to film you. Walk out into the street. It's kind of grippy. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but it's not like it's slippery because
All right.
there's so much snow.
For all of those watching, pray for me. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
If I fall in that hole. Yeah, I mean, it is gripping under my feet
Yeah.
as I walk.
So
Of course, like depending on the roads and how traveled they are, you're
Yeah.
gonna find these grooves. You can hear the grip even like.
it's a really different scenario compared to a freezing rain event. You can drive around and be okay. You know,
Yeah.
this is great. I don't think have you ever been on a snowmobile?
I have not.
If you had a snowmobile, holy cow, you would have a ball because you could fly on these streets. There's just look at that street. There's nothing.
I'm going ahead and measuring.
It would be amazing.
I'm gonna go ahead and measure right here because I assume that this has been out since last night
Good,
as well.
good view.
Let's see. Oh wait, let's try another spot. I might have been hitting the handle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Just under
same.
5 inches.
Mm-hmm. Just the same.
Another truck.
And there's another
A few
truck.
people out and about. Yeah, that's what you don't hear. Up north, Ryan, you hear. Right now, you would hear snow blowers and you would hear snowmobiles, and it would just be the sound of small engines running.
Exactly.
And here it's just the occasional passing car,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
That's right. That's right. Everyone's got their windshield wipers on too. Actually, David, this is something that I also noticed. I saw for your truck before you went into work too. You lifted your windshield
Yeah.
wipers. So what's the reason for that?
Yeah,
too?
so when I got to work, it was starting to snow. I had the defrost on my windshield to heat it up and turn the snowflakes to water drops so I could wipe them off. The problem is if you keep your windshield wipers on the windshield, that water freezes, and before you know it, your windshield wipers are frozen to the windshield, and then you come out, you've got 4 inches, 5 inches of snow, and your wipers are stuck to the windshield. So I lift them off, and then I can come back and scrape the windshield, put the wipers down, and be good to go. I also, because I kind of knew this was coming, made sure that my windshield washer fluid was all rated to 0 degrees. So it will not freeze. So when I'm driving and I need to spray my windshield, it will be available. Now, if you don't do that, it will freeze. And we did a family trip once where we were up in Illinois, and you had slush and slime on the windshield, but the windshield washer fluid was frozen. So
Yeah. Wow.
we had to go to a car wash, go through a warm car wash to melt the windshield washer fluid.
How long
and
did
swap
that?
it out?
How long did that take to go through there?
We had to go through, I think, 2 cycles
Oh,
of that warm water
Yeah.
to actually melt it.
it's incredible.
Yeah, the things you don't think about until you think about them.
Right. And I like these sort of pines that we have on the side of the street.
Oh, look at that!
Just to say.
Look,
Oh yeah, look at
holly,
this.
look at holly and the
Wow.
berries. Yeah, that'd be a good Christmas card
It
shot.
really would, wouldn't it? In January.
Yeah.
We just miss it. Usually we miss it by a month. That's one of the most interesting thing is when you're looking at January's records in terms of temperatures and our record lows. A lot of time it's mostly in January. It takes a little bit longer for that cold weather to settle, especially in the deep south in this region. Up north, where you're seeing white Christmases, that cold's already settled in. But for us, yeah, we gotta wait till January for that. And for our biggest records in mid-January, it's always, or not always, usually associated with ice storms, winter events, things like that.
Absolutely.
So that's why, could be a record-breaking morning for us tomorrow. because of this snow.
Yeah,
This
the record
snow.
low is 17 degrees for tomorrow morning, and our forecast right now is at 16. And we'll see, because skies are clear tonight, and once you lose the cloud cover, those temperatures really, really tumble. If we had clouds and the snow all night, we'd probably hover right where we are, 24, 25. But with the cloud cover departing and this fresh snow cover, it's going to drop. The winds stay up a little bit. That'll help the mixing. But I mean, this is amazing to be looking at snow and 25 degrees when we are 70 some miles from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes.
And it's snowing like this on the Gulf of Mexico, on the coast.
I was saying this, I believe, during live coverage earlier. You know, usually we're looking out at the Gulf for summer storms coming in the middle of the afternoon, or tropical events. You know, of course, you know, this is an area where we're always watching for hurricanes, but to be looking out there and seeing snowflakes instead of a hurricane coming in, or water spouts, or the showers and thunderstorms, it's incredible.
We were showing the live cam from the beach, Sharky's on the beach.
Yeah,
and
we were.
the entire beach was just all white. It's so odd. It's so, from a weather standpoint, it's just so incredible to see all these parameters come together.
And right outside, looks like KBC had the right idea with covering the plants.
That's good, but there's no heat.
That's true.
So we'll see how those fare.
Yeah.
It might be okay. There's enough radiant heat maybe coming off the building.
Maybe so.
And that's interesting, the little microclimates that occur. You get right next to the building and everything is melted, but you get out just a few feet and it is nothing but snow. And there's a lot of it. Not much traffic downtown. There's usually not on a, what is tonight, Tuesday night.
Okay, I think this is...
Whoa.
I think this is the coolest side I think so far. Okay, that is your Christmas.
There it is.
Yeah.
If you could actually stand right there with the pines covered in snow and the Love Dothan sign. There you go. Merry Christmas, Ryan, 2025.
I'll save this for all the Christmases.
It will not get any better than this. 2 inches. The record for Dothan for the most snowfall in an event is 2 inches, was 2 inches. And the records for Dothan, they don't go back that far. They go back to 1965. But 1965, we're at 2025. That's 60 years ago. So that's a long time. So if you're under the age of 60 and you've lived here your whole life, you've never seen anything like this. At least in the city of Dothan, with a total of almost 5 inches now is what we've measured here, multiple spots downtown, almost 5 inches. And there are going to be some totals that come in that are going to be around 6-7 inches. And what's interesting is last night during our Weather Extra show at 10, we were showing various models, and the general consensus was about 1 to 4 inches with the potential to go higher. And we showed the graph model. The graph is a model from IBM, and it's exclusive to the weather company, which provides our weather system. That model was showing about 6 inches and had a 6.7 inch bullseye in Geneva County. Usually as a forecaster, you kind of take the outliers out of the equation, high side, low side, and usually reality is somewhere in the middle. But when it's all said and done, that graph model is going to end up nailing it.
I think so.
And the graph model, you go back to what happened in Huntsville a couple of weeks ago, the graph model is at 4.5 inches, and that pretty much was right on the money. So that model has done spectacular, not just with the snow, but with the hurricanes as well. And it's a testament to all the developers that work on that modeling. That's the traditional model. It's not artificial intelligence. It's math equations and physics, and it's been a great tool.
It has. And just like we were saying at the beginning, or as I was saying at the beginning of this stream, meteorology in essence.
Look at that. That is unbelievable. Where am I? I am not in Southeast Alabama. There's no way.
Absolutely not. But going back to the models, meteorology in essence is still a very young science. we were starting to kind of get things together, really our understanding back in the 60s and 70s. And, of course, as long as the Earth has existed, weather has.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is a very short amount of time that we are still trying to understand a lot of it. But like you said, kudos to the developers. And I'm excited to see where models can go in the future.
Yeah. I don't want them to get too good.
Well, that's very
Then we have
true.
no job at
That's
all.
what you were saying, AI. We don't want AI to get too good.
AI is going to change everything in life, so I guess weather's just part of it.
Lean to the skid.
Absolutely, absolutely. So 5 inches, just under, probably pretty close to 5 inches now, the official total that we've measured in downtown Dothan. The whole city's quiet. We're underneath the canopy at Bella's, and nice and quiet in there. There's nothing happening. Big wedding venue here and across the street as well. A lot of you know this area on Foster Street. Watching the snow blow off the awning is incredible. It is just, it almost feels like, I'm not a big Hallmark movie guy, but I've seen some and it kind of feels like you're in a Hallmark movie, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. My mom is a big fan of Hallmark movies, so shout out to Mom if she's watching right now. But I always reference it because around Christmas time, even before that, we're always watching Hallmark movies at home. So this will play out like one of her scenes.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, you just need the couple.
There's a little hole that you were afraid of
Yeah,
falling
don't.
over.
What happened to Ryan? I don't know. Just found a hole in the ground
At least it'd be
and
slightly warm
never
down.
saw him again. It would be warmer down there. A little wetter.
Well, yeah,
It'd be a damp warmness. The wind is kicking up. These winds, at times today, we're up to 20 miles per hour. You get into the wind tunnel effect of some of these buildings downtown. You're probably at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and that's producing wind chills right around 8 degrees when the core of that wind hits you. But tomorrow morning, there could be some wind chills that are below zero, and I'm worried that we could see some low temperatures in the single digits tonight. And I think you start seeing it in the short-term modeling, looking at the HER model for tonight in Louisiana, where they had about 10 inches of snow. The modeling there was showing temperatures dipping to 0 to even I saw a -5 degree reading air temperature. And there's a chance that we could see that here. Again, it doesn't matter where you are. Like, yeah, we're almost to the Gulf of Mexico. We're so far south, but physics and the weather is what it is what it is. I mean, you got 6 inches of snow on the ground, 5 inches of snow on the ground. You've got a clearing atmosphere tonight. You've got radiational cooling. There's just no reason why it won't drop into the middle to lower teens, if not even, I hate to say it, but 7, 8 degrees in spots.
That's right, and that's one thing that we're always talking about too, is the models can show you one thing, but it's important for us to, it can't pick up
value
everything.
added.
So
Yep.
yeah, the value added for us is that we have to be smarter than the models, smarter than what you see on radar, because that was one of the number one things I learned from my professor back in Mississippi State. He basically said, like, radar in essence is a rudimentary tool. You have to be the one
Yep.
to figure out what's going on. So while models can say one thing, it's our job to make sure that we're putting out what will actually happen. And it is very possible with a setup like this.
Yeah, and it means kind of bucking the trend because the coldest guidance is in the middle to lower teens. And I kind of chuckle at the GEM model, which is a Canadian model, because it has a cold bias all the time, which I think just because it's a Canadian model, of course it's got a cold bias, but it sometimes is on the money. And that model was showing single digits for lows here last week because it was generating some pretty good snowfall. And as we get now into the overnight, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we look at the ground and we see a 6-inch, 5-inch snow cover here, 5 inches in downtown, the possibility of being in the single digits for the morning hours on Wednesday does exist. And if the high clouds that come in tomorrow night are not thick enough, then there's a chance that we get back into the lower teens to maybe upper single digits again for Thursday morning. which all means that this snow is not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's right. So I don't know who is around this area that you weren't able to go outside yesterday. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Have fun. Yeah, have
That's
fun
right.
tomorrow. That's right.
If you're working all day, you got all day tomorrow, so go out and play in the snow.
And this is just interesting. Look at how flat like that cutoff is for the bush right there at the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a lip from that blowing
that's wild.
the wind. I mean, I guess you kind of get, because of the wind tunnel effect of that building, you get a little more wind here compared to the bushes two over. It's incredible. You see a lot of weird things when it snows like this because it allows you to see like that, the wind flow in the atmosphere that you just normally have no idea is happening until you have something there to carve out ridges and ledges, and unbelievable.
Yeah, this is great. I'm glad we got to walk around and see downtown because what a rare sight. And like you were saying during the live coverage we did today, David, like while this again proves that you can get snow down here, I mean, could be maybe years, decades. Until
Could be
we see something
decades.
like this again.
Could absolutely be decades.
Yeah.
I go back to the fact that at least in the city of Dothan, this has not happened in the 60 years of records. That's going back a long way. And there's been no event like this. And just watching the snow flying in the air come on through downtown, an area that is bustling sometimes, an area that has a lot of history because a lot of things have happened in downtown Dothan. That's not a great background. Whoa, let's go this way. There we go. Where are you?
Probably because of the shadow that we're in. Maybe that's the case.
There we go.
Or yeah, if we went over there.
Yeah. So yeah, downtown Dothan behind us. It's a winter wonderland.
That's right, with my frozen hair.
Yeah. That's why I was using the umbrella, just to be safe.
Good call.
Enjoy it. Take the pictures. Let the kids play in it. Make sure the kids are not getting too cold and getting frostbite, because that's a serious concern that we don't think about a lot of times, but we have to now. Blowing and drifting really is going to be an issue into the overnight period. Open areas, we could see some 2-3 foot snow drifts in the wiregrass. Everything is so. I'm bringing up terminology and thoughts from working in the Midwest that we just don't use down here. But it is what it is. The weather is going to weather, and it's given us a heck of a snowstorm.
It has. And I mean, with this just being the start of 2025, can't wait to see what else the year has.
Hopefully, this is the highlight of that we don't see any significant tornado events or hurricanes or anything as we go towards hurricane season. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in on this live stream as we gave you a little tour there of downtown Dothan and talk some weather as well. Stay warm. We will be on tonight on the news at 10 p.m. and break down even more weather. All right, good night.